Today, I would like to show you a really great way of determining market strength using pure price action. So this method is derived from Wyckoff methodology. And in Wyckoff, we employ the idea of testing. So whenever you have a move in the market, that move has to be tested. So we have this breakout from a trading range here. And we don't yet know how strong the market really is. So it could very well be that we went up here and a lot of profit taking came in. So there was a lot of sellers sitting at the sidelines just waiting to get rid of their positions. And they saw this opportunity as a good time to sell. Now, this is not an ideal situation for a market that needs to go higher or wants to go higher. So what we want to do is that we want to see the move, and then we want to observe the test of this move. So let's look at what happened in this situation. So obviously we have a very strong market, but the key here is that we only how much we intrude into the previous bar. So this next bar only intruded a small amount into this bar. So whenever we are intruding less than 50% of the spread of this bar, we call that a type 1 test. So let's take a look at the type 2 test. Here we can see I've added also a Fibonacci here with only the 50% marked out. So here we can see that we had the great breakout, and then we had a weaker bar. Because it's weaker because sellers were able to intrude halfway into this great breakout bar. So obviously we have a weaker market with the type 2 than we have with the type 1. So let's go to the weaker still test. So in the type 3 test, we managed to, the bears managed to intrude all the way and negate all of the bullishness of this bar on the next day. And a lot of the buyers that bought inside of this bar became frightened and scared, and they sold out of their positions. So the sentiment wasn't as clear. So obviously, this is a much weaker situation than this one. And even if this bar would have been much higher up, we're only looking at the intrusion for this technique. So there are other situations that we need to talk about as well. So in this case, we have the great breakout, but then not very much is happening. So how do we think about that? It's still a type 1 test because we didn't intrude very much into this bar. So the key here, besides looking at volume, which I'm not including in this right now, but the key here is that we had a bullish type 1 test. So we're still, the bulls still have the upper hand, but they are maybe exhausted, but so are the bears. So we had all this bullishness, and the bears did not come out of the woodworks and start pushing the price down. So that is a good sign. So what happened? We got resumption of the trend. So let's look at another scenario. Here we have another type 1 test of a great bar, a momentum bar, but it's a bearish type 1 test. So it may not mean anything, but the bears had the upper hand in this bar. So this is a weaker type 1 test than this one. So it's an indication that the market, it might not be so strong after all. And in this case, we actually had a fake breakout and we returned back into the trading range. And if you were in a long position from here, maybe you should start thinking about, exiting your position, because we might be visiting the lower end of this trading range. So this is a great and very simple way of determining the strength of a bar or a situation. But it can be used also on swings. So let's consider a swing. So this would be a number of bars going up and down, creating a swing. And we have a reaction to that. So we have a type 1 test of this swing. And then we have a resumption. So obviously a strong market, because we didn't manage to intrude very much into the existing swing with this swing. And we resumed. And here we have maybe a type 2 test and a resumption of the market. And obviously a type 3 would be a complete negation of this. And we might very well be in a trading range here. So I hope this way of thinking will simplify your trading and allow you to understand the price action and the situations that are going on just a little bit better. Thank you. Bye.